So Akira is going to leave Japan on what seems to be a permanent basis. I can't help feeling that my assumption that we could all happily while away our days, having fun in this isolated little world, is coming to an end. It's unsettling. I look at Lilly, mildly surprised that she hasn't told me such a thing, despite usually being so forthcoming. She continues to walk with her face fixedly pointed ahead. I can't read her expression, nor can I even guess what's on her mind, which is discomforting, given how it's usually easy for me to do both. It reminds me of the time when we met at the Shanghai, just before what could be called our first date. At the time, all I could do was comfort her without knowing the cause, and now feels no different. Sorry. As we finally reach the school dormitories once again, there's a somewhat awkward silence. I don't think I'm the only one who feels it. Wow, we walked that far, just completely silent? That is very awkward. See you tomorrow. Way to make it even more awkward. See you tomorrow then, Lilly. Bye, Akira. Good night, Hisao. See ya. That was such a fake smile by Akira. She was all glum, sad and depressed, and then she put on that fake smile for the seer. And with that, they walked to the female dormitories. Opening the door to the male dormitories, I stop and look back at them just moments before their figures disappear behind the heavy wooden door. That was a strange moment when Akira said she was leaving. While that wasn't the first time when my thoughts regarding my new life has been called into question, it's perhaps the first time to do it quite so profoundly. I still don't know what to make of Akira's reaction, much less of Lilly's. Oh, bit of lag. The night's chill reminds me to get back to my room before I catch something, my bags pulling down on my arms with seemingly redoubled weight. If nothing else, I have a date with her set up for the weekend. I just need to stop overthinking stuff and get on with things as they are. Exactly, Hisao. You live life in the moment. The exams are still ongoing, after all, and with that trimester's end at the summer holidays beginning soon, there'll be plenty to keep me busy for a while. As I give a yawn and retreat inside, my thoughts turn to what Lilly will decide to set as the location of our weekend rendezvous. Katawa Shoujo. Oh, this is very nice, very fancy indeed. Very soiree, very suave, very classique, very French, I would say. We've got some water here, empty wine glasses, but I would definitely say they're going to be filled with possibly some red wine or maybe some Chardonnay. However, I'd have to go with the Sauvignon Blanc 1986 from the canals of Italy. But yeah, and this is a nice setting, I'd have to say. Definitely Lilly's taste, because it looks very expensive for my poor boy Hisao, which is not exactly the most wealthy of men, whereas Lilly is certainly up there in the ranks of money. I'm pretty sure this is about the last thing I had in mind when Lilly said she'd decide where to have our date. I hope you forked out your life savings for this one, Hisao, because this is going to cost you. No man nor woman is dressed in anything but their finest, their formality only matched by the fact of their surroundings. Rich red wallpaper adorns the walls as the city lights far below flicker and glow. Combined with the ambient hum of quiet speech and the high-pitched clattering of cutlery and wine glasses, the mood is very formal yet relaxed enough for me not to feel too uptight, despite this being our first real date. Once we get seated, our waiter leaves to attend to others with a quick bow. After an appreciative nod from Lilly, I'd laugh if it was Yuko. Far from depending on my help, Lily's managed to navigate herself around surprisingly easy so far. Despite the unfamiliar environment, a light brush here and there, and she's generally quite deft at orienting herself as needed. Ooh, you are looking... I don't know what I was going to say there. You are looking great tonight, Lily. Fantastic. I like this nice little ribbon you've got going on in your hair. It's very nice. This accentuates your curves. Yes, indeed. Oh, one beautiful sight. My eyes look to Lily's. I can tell from her face that she's listening to her surroundings just as hard as I'm looking. I'm sure something else with you is hard, isn't it? Though truth be told, my eyes are lingering on her each time they sweep across the room. The red cheongsam she's wearing accentuates her figure. Oh, look at that, see? Me and him, we know very well, and shows off her legs. Even her hair is done up, and the scent of perfume is just noticeable. While my black suit may be a rental, I managed to select an appropriate one. It feels surprisingly comfortable considering I've so rarely worn one, and fits the setting just as well as Lily's attire. I really need to get myself a suit. I don't actually own one. But for, you know, I guess this is a new experience for both of us then. She turns somewhat sheepish. I've never come to a place such as this before, no. One hell of a first date, that's for sure. It's going to be pretty hard for me to top this. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard for anyone to top that. A small giggle, even now our nervousness is dissipating. Her hand skates along the centre of the table until it touches the menu, which she takes in both hands and brings to her face. Hisao. Yeah, the menu's probably not in Braille. As she lowers the beige laminated sheet just below her eyes, I can see another sheepish look. I doubt asking the waiter for a menu in Braille would be productive. I can read it out for you, no problem. I take mine and give it a quick read, my small grin faltering. Perhaps there is... What's wrong? There are quite a few items on here, and I'm not completely sure how to pronounce a couple of them. One fine cuisine after another is listed. Most may be in Japanese, but a few are in English and French. See, there's the French influence there. I bet you the chef is French, or at least one of them is French. You'd be amazed at how good French chefs are. French cooks, they are amazing. They know how to cook their food. They know how to drink their red wine, that's for sure. I guess it's to be expected, but I have no idea what's in some of these. Oh, this one I recognise. Wait, hang on. Oh yeah, you're reading the kids menu again. Chicken nuggets and chips. Hisao, you come to a place like this, alright, you're not gonna get your chicken nuggets and chips and spider. Come on, has anybody had a spider? I'm sure all of you must have had a spider. You know that ice cream thing? It's like ice cream and then Coke and then it fizzes up and then it's really yum. But it's very childish, so we don't have shit like that on our first date. You know? We have the top notch. We have sirloin steak. I would say medium to well done sirloin steak. Glass of red wine. And for you, madam, Lily, what would you like? Dear, I'm asking you a quick, dear, Lily, oh, forget it, just get her a glass of water. Yeah, she's not listening. You can cook that? A small giggle of amusement comes from behind the paper sheet. Well, I could read them all out, but it'd take a few hours. Is there anything with some kind of fish in it? Let's see. No. Aren't those poisonous? No. They eat that stuff? No. Ah, here we go. Oh, no, hang on. No. Oh, what about... No. The tuna salad seems to be a good bet. From the picture, it looks like it'd be pretty filling as well. Hisao, I have to say, you need to sort out your woman's taste, right? You need to figure out your woman's taste, right? What she likes, what she doesn't. Because when you come to a place like this, a very fancy restaurant, you don't just want to be getting the usual, right? You want to go for something exquisite. Exquisite? Something unique, you know? A very classy dish. It's not something that you can just make at home, like a tuna salad. Or a steak for that matter. I mean, steak is more or less acceptable because when you cook it at home, you know, you tend to not cook it as perfect as you want. However, when you go to a restaurant, they obviously learn how to cook that shit to perfection, so I don't know what I'm saying. That seems to be a reasonably safe option. Let's order 2 then. I'm pretty sure a couple of these dishes are from poisonous animals. I've had enough deadly run-ins for now. Like that pufferfish, Japanese pufferfish, I think. Don't you have to like cut it a certain way, otherwise the poison seeps out or some shit? Cut it a certain way and you can actually eat it, and it's a delicacy. From what I've learned from The Simpsons, which is of course all true. Lilly maintains a smile, but there's a distinct lack of laughter. Black humour mustn't be her cup of tea. What is black humour? Though to be honest, I don't find it exceedingly funny either. Oh, right, yeah, sorry, I just clicked as to what black humour was. There are certainly quite a few interesting smells wafting about. Well, actually, babe, I just farted, so... Same is true for the sights, I assume. I've never been anywhere quite like this. A fancy Japanese tea house on an occasion or two, but never anything this lavish nor European in styling. Before another word can be said, a portly waiter in a distressingly tight vest appears at our table to take our orders. Hey, welcome to Applebee's, what can I get you? God, I can't even pronounce that. Provincial tuna salada. Nicois, please, 2. Oh, I butchered that on so many levels. I hope I didn't mess up the pronunciation of that too badly. Even if I did, he doesn't show it. Well, he has to be professional. May I have a glass of Chardonnay, please? Sal? Oh, the same. As the waiter nods and leaves, I suddenly realise what I said. By absent-mindedly mimicking Lily's answer, I regret it pretty quickly. Alcohol. Only a bit. This girl has an odd propensity to getting hooked on things, I swear. Surprising that they didn't ask for identification. Wow. If you're in a place like this, it's kind of ill-mannered to ask for identification, honestly. And I doubt he's gonna be like, well, your date can have the wine because, you know, she's a girl. You, however, you're gonna have to show me some ID, buddy. Then again, I guess we both do look mature for our age. It's not that, trust me. I'll have to take your word for it. I'll add that this isn't what I'd call the type of place to ask such things, so yeah, see? See what I mean? I know my shit. I've been to my fair share of restaurants. Good point. We both relax a little into our seats, trying to take our minds off the choking formality of the surroundings. As soon as we do, the same waiter reappears at our table with the 2 empty glasses and a bottle, the contents of which are quickly and professionally poured into the former. Ooh. Nice nails there, Lily. Very nice. We both nod politely as he leaves, Lily taking her glass and gently moving it from side to side. The liquid inside glistens as it moves around in the glass, and I have to admit it makes me a little less regretful for ordering the same. You know, you're not holding the glass right. Well, actually, she is holding the glass right, but if you were drinking port, you'd hold the glass between your middle finger and your index. No, not your index. The other finger. The finger that has no name. Middle finger and the other finger. Between the neck of the glass, and then swish it around like that in your hand, like you're cupping the bottom of the glass, and then sniff it, swish it around in your... Oh, take a sip, swish it around in your mouth, spit it out. Okay, maybe we're not actually taste testing wine, but, you know, it's what you do with port. I think it's very cool how they do it with port. I'm just full of little facts today, aren't I? Did I actually read that? Yeah, we did. I guess it must take effort to judge how the liquid inside is acting based only on its centre of balance. Maybe it's like her origami, taking every little chance to practice her dexterity. I guess I'm not surprised that you know about a place like this. Those who have money would, I suppose. Shouldn't really bring up the subject of money. This reminds me of just how completely different our upbringings were. In Yamaku, it's easy to forget about social and economic disparity between students all wearing the same uniforms, living in the same dormitories. Well, Akira was the one to tell me of it. She's come here before, apparently. She does look like the kind of person that would... I want to try it, Akira. She seems awesome. I'm sorry. I know we're on the path for Lilly, but I think Akira's fucking awesome. So that's why we're conspiring about on Friday. And you chastise me for cheating? Oops. That's not cheating, it's simply making use of personal contacts. If you say so, still, I get the feeling that you're more familiar with this kind of restaurant than I am. She pauses for a moment, a wistful look on her face before softly smiling. The compliment seems to brighten her mood. You can thank my former school for that. If I were to appear any less, I'd be gravely disappointed. She has mentioned her previous schooling before, but now I'm kind of curious. She seems to think a lot about her past, so I don't see any problem in asking. What was that like? It was prestigious. All girls and Catholic. Oof. These facts made my parents choose it for me. Many wealthy families sent their daughters there. From how it sounds, life there must have been pretty strict. I wouldn't say it was a bad experience, but you're quite right. It was very strict. Thankfully, I managed to adapt well enough and make a number of friends. From my experience, well, maybe not my experience, but my knowledge, all girls' schools tend to be very slutty outside of the school area, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, hey, all I've got around them every day is girls, so what do you expect? Once they're out there, they're all into it. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for my sister. She found the atmosphere and religious aspects suffocating, and ended up leaving for a job as soon as she was able to. That's right, we all have our different ways in life. Our own opinions. YOLO. God no. Kill me now for saying that. I can't believe I just said that. She gives a small self-deprecating chuckle. I shouldn't complain about it though. Not many even have the chance to go to such a school. Do you resent your parents for sending you there, then leaving? She gently shakes her head. My family is highly... patriarchal. I don't even know. My father, business always on mind, was entirely lost as to what to do with me. In the end, he made the decision that my education was of higher priority than staying with the family. He simply did what he thought was best. It's what most fathers do anyway. To say such things so easily, what an unbelievable girl. That said, I'm little surprised she doesn't think her blindness played any part at all. Though maybe I'm being too harsh on her family. Yeah, you haven't even met them. You're too kind-hearted, you know that? Most would hate their parents for something like that. Well, some do. Oblivious to my raised eyebrow, she takes a sip from her glass. The wine slips down effortlessly, her fondness for it evidently helping her deal with the flavour of alcohol. I can't say the same goes for me. What of yourself? What was your schooling like? Mine? Let's see. It was a fairly normal public school. I suppose maybe a bit busier than the norm. I did quite well in class and played in a soccer club. Since I am an only child and my parents both worked a lot, I wasted most of my free time and money at the arcade with my 3 friends. No matter how much I played though, I never did manage to beat Mai at any of those machines. Even Takumi and Shin lost to her whenever they tried. Then I'd be left trying to be the responsible adult when Shin and Mai fought again. Just the 4 of us, aimlessly enjoying our childhood. Those were some pretty silly times. I catch myself as I realise that I'm starting to zone out. The days of my old school disappear into the night sky and bright city lights outside the window. Oh, look who's being nostalgic tonight. Lilly's face is an odd mixture of curiosity and sympathy. Given her strict schooling, I suppose something like this would seem an interesting contrast to the only life she's known. It sounds like your previous school was a lot of fun. Not really sure how much of it is nostalgia, but there are some nice memories. That's in the past though. I can't go back there now, but through my accident I found a new life I'd never imagined leading. The peace and calm of Yamaku, a new direction for my future in science, the friendship of Shizune, Misha and Hanako, and most of all, you. She gives a deep, genuine smile as she moves her hands towards me, her fingers just lightly searching out my face before softly caressing my cheek. Her hand reluctantly retreats after a second of warm silence as we notice the waiter arriving with our meals. Lilly does a deft job of covering her condition, except for the fact that her nod to him is slightly misaligned due to his silence. She really seems to work hard at appearing as normal as possible in public. While I noticed it long ago, I still can't quite gauge whether it's a want not to be treated differently, a slight sense of vanity, or some mixture of both. I love this whole formal sort of look at the moment. It's very classy. The dish served lives up to the salad name, and the portions pleasantly large. With sliced eggs and tomato, it looks very enticing indeed. It doesn't really look restaurant worthy though. It kind of looks more cafe worthy. Yeah, it doesn't really look, if this cost me $22, I'm not fucking paying for this, alright? This is worth maybe 8 or 10. This is a shit meal. Lilly takes her knife in one hand and fork in the other. Quickly getting to work on the dishes I do. It's later than we usually have dinner, so we're both eager to dig in. My cautious skewering of leaves and vaguely meat-like squares with my fork is matched by Lilly's silent and measured prodding and chewing. An occasional tap around the sides of a piece of the food to work out its edges, and the only giveaway to her lack of sight. I'm done with my meal in a little time, Lilly taking the last few bites as I sit observing her. Finished this out? Yeah, it was pretty nice. That much is very true. I never thought a simple salad could be so tasty and filling. Oh, okay, well, if you say it was good enough, then, look, fine. I'm willing to pay the $22 for both of our meals, right? So, I'm saying it's worth $11 each. That'll be alright. It's not worth $22 each. But then again, I suppose that's why it costs so much to eat here. Content with my appraisal and evidently agreeing, Lilly gives a small nod. You know, given that you're part foreign, exotic looking and quite pretty, I'm surprised that nobody's ever confessed to you before. You're assuming nobody did. The simple statement takes me off guard. I shouldn't be surprised given that I was complimenting her just moments before. Really? I've received several confessions, both in the school and my previous one. Adolescence is a funny time. Indeed it is. She's kind of talking as if she's above it herself. Huh. How easily you say such a thing. Lilly looks surprised for a moment before a playful smirk covers her face. Is that jealousy? What? No, it isn't. You're a bad liar, Hisao. You should take that into account. Then again, I do appreciate how sincere you are, even if you don't intend to be sometimes. I think your honesty will always serve you well when dealing with others. I cleared my throat in mock disapproval of this whole business and tried to steer the conversation elsewhere.